The Penguin is a TV show that looks better than most other shows out there. It looks like a movie. And it has to do with this intro. The Penguin is an HBO show, and that's a major clue to why it looks so good. A quick look at HBO's catalog reveals that many of their shows aren't just impressive in terms of storytelling, but also stand out visually, with a high standard of cinematography that elevates each series to feel more like a movie than a typical TV show. So what makes HBO's shows in general so visually impressive? HBO has long held a reputation as the gold standard of television, a legacy reinforced by its iconic slogans.
It's not TV.
What's the difference?
Big difference.
It's HBO.
Oh!
Where is this coming from?
Gritty dramas to lavish fantasy epics, HBO has positioned itself as a network that consistently delivers high-quality, groundbreaking content, defining itself as the place for shows that push boundaries. Over the years, HBO has been owned by several parent companies, but its commitment to exceptional storytelling and high production values has remained constant. This enduring quality has made HBO a source of inspiration for its peers and fans alike, proving that even amidst corporate changes, its dedication to redefining what television can be has stayed intact. After lots of research and talks with people who have worked on both HBO and non-HBO productions, here's what we found. One of the only measurable differences is the sheer amount of existing assets. HBO is owned by Warner Bros. With Warner Bros.' massive studio facilities, they can cut about $30,000 per stage per month from the budget, which are significant savings, as big shows often use multiple stages. Even if they don't shoot at Warner Bros. Studios, Warner Bros. Can trade studio space with a studio in another city to still get the discount. HBO also benefits from Warner Bros.' famous resources, like its well-known sign shop. For instance, one show needed a massive painting print that would have cost $3,000 to $5,000 elsewhere, but through Warner Bros., they got it for just $500. Warner Bros. Also has enormous warehouses filled with set dressing and costumes that their productions can access freely. This makes period pieces far more affordable, as productions don't need to purchase specific items for every scene. In contrast, streaming giants like Amazon and Netflix lack such infrastructure. When a show wraps, they have to sell or even give away props and costumes because storage isn't an option. $500 chairs get sold for $20 just to have a sale on record, as storing or giving items away would incur greater costs. All of this affects the set design, an important and starting element of the look of any show. An interesting comment about this was made by a person whose premises were rented a few times for different production companies. When HBO rented it, oh my god, it was the level of set decoration and props. It was intense and it was amazing. My space was used for a super quick scene. Maybe 2% of all the work the set decorators/prop did ended up on screen. This was a period piece. Hulu used the space. Super minimal redecoration even though it was also a period piece. This is why when watching some shows, you might notice that set design is not as detailed as the ones from HBO. The world they create just isn't as layered and rich. What is rich, though, is Motion Array's library of creative assets. Motion Array is an all-in-one platform for content creators, providing unlimited downloads of professional video assets, including video templates, presets, music, sound effects, footage, stock photos, motion graphics, and plugins. Motion Array has been a friend of the channel for quite some time, and we use it for all sorts of things, from finding the stock footage that we're going to color grade to recreate a look from a movie, emulating the film look, adding their overlays to create more depth in a shot, completely changing the look of a shot. Then we have their plugin hub, which works like magic. I mean, just look at these auto light flares. Just drag and drop and it automatically locates the light source and adds a light flare which you can customize. And of course, their wide library of music and sound effects. You can try Motion Array for free, and if you like it, sign up for a month or a year. Download whatever you want, use it wherever you want. To check it out, head over to the link in our description. Thanks Motion Array for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it. HBO also understands the power of its brand. The network consistently wins more Emmys than any other, which may not mean much to the average viewer, but it holds considerable appeal for top-tier talent seeking prestige. When HBO courts an A-list star, they can often offer a lower rate, knowing that the show is more likely to gain awards recognition. boosting the star's profile and their potential asking price for future projects. By contrast, Amazon had to dedicate a substantial portion of Wheel of Time's budget just to secure Rosamund Pike, demonstrating the added cost when a network doesn't offer the same award-driven appeal. Another advantage lies in how Warner Bros. Segments its brand. For example, the CW, also owned by Warner Bros., allows them to channel specific content types. Prestige projects go to HBO, while teen dramas and lighter fare find a home on the CW. Netflix doesn't have this kind of flexibility. All their content sits under one roof. So when comparing HBO to streaming giants like Amazon or Netflix, a fairer comparison would actually consider both HBO and the CW together. Disney has taken a similar approach, smartly positioning Hulu as its answer to HBO, particularly with the FX on Hulu branding as a signal of high quality, which can be seen with the shows as The Bear, having stunning visuals and cinematography. Lastly, Netflix, Amazon, and others are in a content race, pushing to produce new content as quickly as possible to keep their libraries full. They're both at a stage where multiple original movies and shows need to be released each week. In contrast, Warner Bros., with its roots going back to the 1920s, already has a massive catalog. Almost any Warner Bros. Film not licensed to another streaming service appears on HBO Max, as well as every Warner Bros. TV show, like Friends, even if originally distributed elsewhere. This extensive library allowed HBO Max to launch with more content than Netflix, so they don't feel pressured to churn out content as quickly. HBO's shows can take longer to prep, shoot, and edit, doubling down on the brand's reputation for quality. The same leniency isn't extended to the CW shows, of course, but for Netflix and Amazon, only a few top-tier shows can afford this slower, more careful production pace. This longer production period of HBO shows is more akin to the page count of a feature film schedule, and more time means they can be far more sophisticated with their shots, bringing them closer to cinema than television. But what exactly makes cinema look like cinema? We have to start with a camera which captures everything. But in this case, the camera doesn't contribute much, as almost every show nowadays is shot on high-end digital cameras. Next thing is the set design and costume design, which we already mentioned how HBO manages to have detailed and layered set design, creating immersive worlds. Now we come to lighting and color grading, two big factors determining the look of a show. Lighting is one of the most powerful tools that helps HBO shows create the cinematic feel that distinguishes them from standard television. HBO shows are known for using intricate and intentional lighting setups, with meticulous pre-lighting to establish a particular aesthetic even before the first frame is shot. This can mean anything from the dark, shadow-heavy lighting in True Detective, which reinforces its noir elements, to the soft, natural lighting in Big Little Lies that reflects the deceptive tranquility of its coastal setting. The Penguin utilizes dim, controlled lighting to emphasize Gotham's dark, gritty atmosphere, making scenes feel more grounded and intense, which aligns with the psychological and physical turmoil of the characters. This degree of lighting design requires an experienced crew, and most importantly additional time and budget, luxuries that HBO Productions tend to prioritize to achieve the cinematic quality they're known for. Color grading is another critical factor that HBO shows leverage to set them apart visually, adding cohesion and depth to each scene. HBO's productions undergo detailed post-production grading, which is essential for creating a consistent visual tone across episodes and seasons. In shows like Game of Thrones, where the color palette becomes progressively darker and colder as the storyline intensifies, the color grading plays a direct role in reinforcing the thematic and emotional undertones of the narrative. This continuity helps viewers stay engaged with the world and tone of the show, as the colors subtly guide their emotional responses. For the Penguin, the color grading leans toward warmer, dark tones to evoke the gritty, oppressive nature of Gotham City, differentiating it from the typical look of many contemporary TV shows. Don't get me wrong, of course, other television shows also color grade their scenes, but since HBO has longer production schedules, they can provide the colorists with more time to create the perfect color grade for the show. The level of control and precision that HBO uses in color grading also helps make each of its series visually distinctive. Shows like Euphoria, for example, use vibrant, almost surreal colors to reflect the heightened emotions and chaotic inner lives of the characters, while The Leftovers employs muted tones to mirror the sense of loss and existential dread central to the show's themes. Beyond the aesthetic, HBO's approach to color grading also impacts the storytelling itself. By intentionally manipulating color, the network's productions can subtly guide viewers' attention, enhance moods, and reinforce character arcs. If you want to color grade your videos and photos like movies and TV shows, check out our Movie LUTs and Lightroom profiles. The link for it is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.